need to ask anything. And tonight we're going to start either in Supta Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together. You can have your feet as close or as far away from you as feels comfortable, or you can come into double pigeon. So just check how your hips are going. Double pigeon, placing your right ankle on your left knee and your right knee on your left ankle. So it's not a cross leg. The shin bones are actually stacked. If it feels too strong in that shape, of course, come into Supta Baddha Konasana, which is fine as well. And then closing down the eyes when you've arrived in your shape. If you've started in double pigeon and it gets too uncomfortable, go back to Supta Baddha Konasana. But wherever you are, fingertips lightly beside you on the mat, sitting up nice and tall, reaching the crown of your head up to the ceiling, dropping your shoulders away from the ears. And just starting to come into some deep breaths, long, smooth breaths, trying to ensure that the inhale and the exhale are the same length. And we'll just arrive on our mat today, letting go of anything that's happened before we've arrived on our mat and not thinking about anything that might be waiting for us afterwards, just dedicating this short amount of time to ourselves. And practicing today with curiosity, just trying things out, seeing where your body is, not ever pushing through pain or injury, but just having a healthy curiosity, a beginner's mind, as if you've never done these shapes before. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then if you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, stay there. If you're in double pigeon, just crossing over the legs, so changing the cross of the legs. Right ankle under left knee, left ankle on right knee. And then we'll inhale, coming back to a seated position again, finding the breath. A few breaths here. Locating the area of stillness and calm within. What starts as an external journey more often than not becomes an internal one. Our practice revealing things to us about ourselves that we may not have been aware of. Let's blink open the eyes and place the right hand to the mat and just sweep the left arm up and over. Stretching that top arm away, because if we don't engage the muscles, nothing changes. So if we've just got our arms hanging like this over our head, we're not actually stretching or strengthening, we're just hanging. So really stretching that arm alongside your ear tonight, nice. And then inhale, coming back the other way, sweeping the right arm up and over and reaching. Noticing where you're feeling a nice stretch. And then inhale, coming back once more. You can bring your right elbow to the mat if you have the space and if it feels good, if it challenges the breath. Just go back to the other variation. And then once more over to the other side. Stretching that arm across to the other side of the room. And then inhale, gently coming up to a seat. Fingertips to the side of the mat, placing your heels on the ground, and we'll just come into a reverse tabletop. Squeezing the glutes to lift the hips, as if you're going to set the table for dinner on your tummy. So you don't want any hammocking of the lower back or the stomach. And then exhale, we're going to just bring our hips through our hands, curling our chest towards our knees without putting our hips on the ground if we can. And then inhale, sweeping back up to reverse tabletop. Squeezing those glutes, lifting those hips, opening through the chest. And then exhale, let's seesaw back between our hands without bringing our hips to the ground, and then gently lowering yourself to the ground. Coming over onto all fours and just doing a couple of cat-cows in your own time, your own version, seeing where your body is today. And just having an explore for a breath or two, finding out what you need from your cat-cow. No right or wrong. Beautiful. And then coming to stillness, we'll tuck the toes, lift our hips up to downward facing dog. You can bend the knees once or twice, pedaling out through the feet. And then as soon as you can, coming to stillness. Tilting those hips up towards the ceiling, back of the thighs towards the back of the room. Reaching away from your palms on the floor as if your armpits are facing each other. And then floating onto the balls of your feet, little mini steps to the front of your mat. We'll inhale to halfway lift, exhale to fold, bending the knees, sweeping up to chair pose, and then slowly coming to stand. And we'll do 3 sun salutations. So inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, exhaling, forward fold. You can keep a bend in the knees. Let's step to the back of the mat through a plank pose, chaturanga, elbows in towards the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, see what you need. Exhale, downward facing dog. So taking a breath here, letting it go. Coming onto the balls of your feet, stepping or hopping to the front of the mat. If you hop, hop lightly. Nice. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sweeping up. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Gaze follows the hands if you can, and then exhaling, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping or floating. If you're floating, you've got to keep that roundness in your back and push through the hands into chaturanga. Very nice. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here. Letting it go. Coming onto the balls of the feet and stepping or hopping, last one, to the front of the mat. Lifting the hips up if you're hopping. So you land lightly. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bending the knees, sweeping up. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And again, stepping or floating. If you're floating, make sure those arms are locked out and you're rounding your upper back so that you can land lightly at the back of the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Taking 2 breaths here. And then pushing into the right hand, bringing your left hand to the outside of your right ankle, your right calf, anywhere on your right leg. And just taking a nice twist here. Peering under your armpit, that's nice. And then let's swap sides. Left hand down, pushing through the left hand, tilting the hips up to the ceiling. Right hand finds the ankle, the calf. Use that grip to pull your body through. Maybe you can see the ceiling underneath your armpit. And then exhaling, replacing both hands down for downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg up. Exhaling, right foot next to the right hand or behind the right hand, dropping the back knee, coming into your low lunge. So really, today, bend into the right leg to stretch through the left hip. Arms gaze up to the ceiling and then dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And then fingers to the mat, gently bringing your hips towards your back foot. You can lift the back toes. If it feels good for you, you can actually sit down on the back heel. But just exploring, if it's irritating an injury or you think it will, of course, just go to where it's comfortable for you. Let's inhale, rolling forward again, bending the front knee. Arms up, low lunge. So deep bend into the front knee today. Squeezing the left glutes to feel the opening of the front thigh. And then hands to the mat, coming back again into your half Hanuman all the way or wherever feels good for you. There's no right or wrong. The right decision is the one that feels good in your body. Taking a breath here and then coming forward again, bending through the front knee, left hand down, tucking the toes, right arm up, simple twist. As if someone's pulling your top fingers up towards the ceiling. Feel that lighten your weight on your bottom hand. And then we're going to open into Cleopatra. So we come onto the outside blades of both feet without dropping the hips. Arm reaches back along the bottom leg. Very nice. And then sweeping the top arm up, coming onto the ball of the back foot, coming back to your runner's lunge. And then we're going to lift the right leg up, curl the knee to the chest, and sweep the right foot under the left elbow for fallen triangle. You can leave your foot on the ground, you can keep both hands on the ground, or you can lift the top leg. Sorry, the top arm. That would be hard to lift the top leg, unless you are having a very advanced day. And then exhale, left hand down, sweeping the right leg back. Don't place it on the floor. Bend the hip open and come into either a side plank or your wild thing, where you step your top foot very close to your straight bottom leg. Otherwise, you're in a side plank. Both variations, lifting your side body away from the mat. And then right hand down, coming back through plank, elbows into the ribs for chaturanga, making sure the shoulders stay higher than the elbows. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Very nice. Taking a breath here, letting something go. Attaching again to the beginner's mind. So let's inhale the left foot up. Exhale, stepping the left foot through or behind the left hand, and then dropping the back knee. Really bending a lot into the front knee today. Inhale, lifting up. Might feel very different one side to the other. Hands down, hips back. Maybe halfway, maybe all the way. Might be very different on this side. So just taking care of your body first and foremost. Inhale, coming forward, low lunge. Shoulders away from the ears. Hands down, half Hanuman, half splits. Your ball of the foot of the left foot can be on the floor or off the floor. And then bending the front knee, returning the ball of the foot to the floor, tucking the back toes, coming into your simple twist. So see if you can imagine someone's pulling your top wrist up to lighten the weight on your bottom hand. You can even try and come onto the fingers of the bottom hand. See what that does to the shape. And then we'll bring the palm back to the mat, coming onto the outside blades of the feet, opening into Cleopatra. Reaching down that bottom leg. Inhale, sweeping the top arm up, bringing your left hand down, stepping back through a three-legged plank. So we're not placing the left foot on the floor, and then coming into side plank or wild thing. You can do what you did on with the first side. It may be different on the second side. No judgment. One more breath here. And then coming back through center, belly to spine, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Letting the breath return to normal. Letting go of any expectations or judgments or thoughts about liking shapes or not liking them. Just focusing on the breath. Finding that stillness within. Let's inhale the right leg up. Exhale, stepping the right foot through. Rolling ourselves up for high lunge. So continue with a big bend into the front knee, stretching through the back heel. You can widen the feet if balance is tricky. Those shapes look beautiful. And then we're slowly going to fall down, coming into our pyramid pose. So starting off with a halfway lift, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, and then exhaling for your pyramid. You can stay in a half lift, or you can drop the head towards the shin. We're on the ball of the back foot. And just breathing here. Letting something go as you exhale. Then we're going to inhale to halfway lift and start walking our hands towards the left side of our mat, the long side of the mat. Heels out, feet in. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Holding onto the back of the ankles, keeping a little bend in the knees. Think about placing the tummy to the spine, to the thighs. And just taking a couple of breaths here. And then hands to hips, inhale to halfway lift. Staying here, bringing your arms out to a T, and we're going to do a high skaters pose. So exhale over to the right, back through center, over to the left. One more, over to the right, over to the left. Coming back to center, standing up, turning your foot towards the back of the mat and stepping your right foot to meet your left. So we're facing the back of the mat now. Inhale to come up. Arms meet, palms meet up ahead. Exhaling into a forward fold. So we're going to bring our left hand to our hip, our right peace fingers to our right toe, and we're going to stand up with the right leg. You can keep it bent to start, right knee to chest. And then either straightening the leg out or keeping it bent, try and hold on to the toes. Maybe the left arm reaches up. If you need to hold on to a wall or keep your hand on your hip, that's absolutely fine. Maybe we open the right foot out to the right. Maybe the arm opens to the left. Maybe we gaze over our left arm. If we fall out, we just pick ourselves up and come back in, just like life. Hand to hip, foot back towards the front of the mat, and bringing that foot into your figure four. And then releasing the toe. Hands to heart center, bend in the left leg, flexing the right foot, and deciding, are you going to stay here? Are you going to come into a lower version? Maybe bringing the triceps in front of the shins. Hands still to heart. Maybe you're going to hold onto the right foot with your left hand, the heel of the foot, and bring your right elbow into the arch of the right foot, into a prayer. Maybe you try that and it feels like the worst thing you've ever tried. So come back to another variation. Taking 2 more breaths there. Beautiful to see you all listening to your bodies. And then exhaling, slowly standing back up, knee to chest, releasing the leg, giving everything a bit of a shake. How much fun was that? Coming onto your left foot, bringing your right leg behind you, holding onto the top of the right foot. Left arm up, coming into your dancer's pose. So flexing the right foot. Chest opens towards the front of the room. And when you've had enough of that shape, gently coming out of it. Beautiful. Giving everything a little bit of a shake. Sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhaling, forward fold. So finding your forward fold for a few breaths. You can stand on the palms, back of the hands to the mat. You can hold onto opposite elbows. No right or wrong. Just exploring what feels good in your body. I taught someone last night, she's about 12, and she said her goal is to do yoga till she's 80. I said, that's my goal as well. I'm a lot closer to it than she is though. Anyway, inhale to halfway lift. Removing the hands from the feet or any variation, slowly rolling yourself up. Arms sweep up overhead. Hands to heart center. Weight into the left foot, stepping the right foot back. So we're still facing the back of our mat. So widen your stance if balance is tricky. Big bend into the front knee, big bend into the back knee, but push into the back foot. Arms sweep up, shoulders down from your ears, high lunge. Taking a breath here. And then starting to straighten through the front leg, coming into our pyramid pose. So fingertips towards the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Make sure you're not locking out that left knee. Staying here with a half lift or exhaling to fold.
Taking a couple of breaths here in pyramid. Wherever your pyramid takes you, on the ball of the back foot. One more breath here. And then we'll exhale and start to walk ourselves back to the right side of the mat. Toes in, heels out, coming back into our forward fold. So you can hold on to the back of the ankles, the back of the legs. You can bring your fingertips through the legs and face your fingers towards the back of the room. Whatever feels nice, but keeping a bit of a bend in those knees so that you can sort of think about your tummy resting on your thighs. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale to let it go. Bringing your hands back to center. Inhale to halfway lift. Hands to hips. Bringing yourself all the way up. Right foot faces forward. Left foot faces forward. Standing back again at the top of the mat. Weight into the left foot. Make sure I'm doing the opposite foot now. Squeezing the knee. No, I think it's weight into the right foot. Squeezing the left knee to your chest. Whichever knee you didn't do last time, do this time. And then peace gripping the big toe. Other hand to hip. Either keeping the knee bent or starting to straighten the leg. Any amount, it really doesn't matter. Maybe your other arm floats up. Keeping your gaze soft and directly ahead. Maybe you open your leg and your arm out in different directions, opposite directions. Maybe your eyes float over your extended arm. Taking a breath here. And then bringing that leg over into your figure four. Releasing the toe. Choosing your version. Let's all bend the standing leg and bring our shins towards our triceps towards our shin. That's an option. Make sure your leg that's crossing over has got a flexed foot. Maybe you're going to hold onto the heel and bring your tricep into the arch of that foot. It's a bit balancy. You can use a wall for balance if you need. You don't have to take this option, only if you want to try it. It's a really nice deep side twist. Gaze stays down in this one, down and a little bit in front. Very nice, beautiful. And then when you're ready, letting it go, giving everything a little bit of a shake. Weight into the right foot, left foot back for dancer's pose. So flexing the back heel, reaching the front arm forward, and using the flex of the back foot to open up into your dancer's pose. Not worrying about the shape, just thinking about the feeling of it. And then gently releasing, give everything a little bit of a shake, and gently start to make your way down onto the mat. Soon as your hips touch the mat, Navasana. All of our favorite pose. Holding onto the back of the thighs to make sure you're extending the lower back. And then choosing your variation. Any variation is fine. Let's exhale, gently coming down onto our lower back. Legs and shoulders float off the mat. Belly pulls down towards the mat. And then gently lowering everything down to the floor. Taking a moment here in this rebound shape, just noticing the energy churning through the body. We'll bend the knees, heels underneath, palms turn back down, and we'll inhale for a bridge pose, squeezing the glutes together, pushing through the feet, feeling the weight rolling onto the shoulders. Exhale, lowering down, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, lifting up. Start the lift by squeezing your glutes. Exhale, slowly coming down, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, squeezing the glutes, lifting up. 5 more like that, coming down. Squeezing the glutes, lifting up. 4, rolling down, squeezing up. 3, lowering down, squeezing up. 2, lowering down, lifting up. Really squeeze those glutes to open your hips at the top of the movement. Lowering down, lifting up. Last one, squeezing the glutes, opening the hips. Maybe you bring your arms up overhead. And we'll stay here for 10, chin away from the chest. 9, 8, squeeze those glutes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly start to round your back down. Palms come to the mat at the same time as your hips. And leaving your feet where you are, just let your knees knock in together. Taking a deep breath here. Exhaling to let something go. Inhale, opening your arms out to a T. With the feet where they are, just letting the knees sway over to the right. Breathing through any sensations. You can support one of your legs with the block if it feels uncomfortable where it is. Just taking 3 more breaths here. You can gaze over your left arm if that's comfortable for your neck. Feeling the breath massaging you from the inside out. Feeling the breath filling you up. And then as it leaves the body, letting something go. 1 more breath here. Big inhale. Exhaling, letting go of something. Inhaling the knees back to center. You can straighten up if you want to, or move the hips a little bit over to the left. Sorry, to the right, and over to the other side. Gazing over the right arm. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels good for you. Noticing the difference one side to the other. Noticing the softening as you exhale. Maybe you're feeling some tingling in the fingers and the toes. After this next exhale, inhale, bringing your knees back up to center, walking your legs down the mat, bringing your arms out beside you, generous amount of space. Palms face up, feet relax. Taking an inhale to release control of the breath, release the practice, and coming into a few moments of deep rest, Shavasana. I'll let you know when it's time to wake up. Why wouldn't we welcome this moment of rest into our day? Relax the lips and the jaw. Soft belly. This is a shape of surrender, so surrendering control. Surrendering the critical mind. Surrendering the breath. As you're inhaling, saying to yourself, I am enough. As you exhale, just letting go of any thoughts or behaviors that aren't serving you. Inhaling, I am enough, just as I am. Exhaling, letting go of any old patterns that aren't serving you. Inhaling, I'm deserving of love. Exhaling, letting something go. Inhaling, I'm deserving of love just as I am. Exhaling, letting something go. Bringing the left hand to the heart and the right hand to the belly. Taking a few more breaths here. Simple, easy, gentle breath. And then when you're ready, rolling onto one side. Just pausing for a breath to notice if anything shifted since you first started the practice. In the body, in the mind. And then gently bringing yourself up to a seat. Keeping the eyes closed. Let's take a big inhale, reaching our arms up overhead, fingertips float together. Exhaling into our heart center, bowing our third eye towards our fingertips. Namaste.